here's your hosts, Terry Cannell-Beck and Randy Blake.
That's right. Good morning, Randy Blake.
Terry and everybody out there.
That's right. Happy Saturday, my buddy.
Happy Saturday to you.
Yeah, a little nice little Saturday here on WATA. And again,
A little cool, though, isn't it?
a little chilly. I liked it, 50-something degrees.
I think summer starts in the morning.
That's what they say. And, I like a good summer. I like these temperatures. I know I'm kind of alone in some of that, but I like these temperatures.
Been a little weird.
But
Drought, now cool weather, foggy mornings in June.
That's, yeah. But that's okay, because that's, we got to roll with it. But, no, it's been an interesting summer, but that's okay. At least we're not getting, scorching hot, lots of wildfires, that kind of thing.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, that's a big one. When we were super dry, I know it's been hard on farmers because I've started first cutting, and first cutting's a little short and a little thin because of the drought.
But yeah.
And then the forecasts have been everywhere.
I noticed that too, yeah. So
I didn't get to watch the weather this morning, but, I'm looking at NOAA right now, and they're calling for a 100% chance of rain on Monday.
Monday's going to be kind of wet, maybe some thunderstorms, and then as we look ahead to Tuesday, it should start to clear out. And I didn't look at the end of the week, but the middle of the week should be nice and sunny again, Tuesday, Wednesday. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens at the end of the week. But yeah, no, it's
put some water in the river.
And we need it, but the problem is if it comes fast and hard, it doesn't do us much good. But
no, it don't.
But yeah, it's been an interesting year. It's been wet to be so dry too. It's been kind of weird. Like we haven't got a lot of rain, but we've got a lot of wet humidity, I guess. So I don't know.
It's just some days yes, some days no.
But yeah, it's the way we roll in the high country, right?
Yep.
So, but we appreciate all of our listeners out there all about home construction. Thanks for listening to us. And it's good stuff. Karaoke tonight at the VFW, right?
Yep.
Good.
I forgot what I sent you.
Tonight is birth. I forgot what you told me now.
Birth and death.
Birth and death, yeah. You have to explain that one a little bit.
Well, what song comes to mind on that one? American Pie.
American Pie. I just played that one a little bit ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Had dinner. Our Italian meal is this evening.
That's right.
Chicken parmesan, lasagna, spaghetti, and meatball. Spaghetti with meatballs or without.
Nice. Yum.
For the vegetarian salad bar, and we will have cheesecake as a dessert.
That sounds yummy. Yummy. I like cheesecake.
Well, they're pretty good.
Did you make the cheesecake?
No, I didn't make. Actually, I was able to find these minis. They're about 3.4 ounces.
Okay. Cool.
And they got breadcrumbs on the bottom.
Nice and I like all sorts of cheesecake. I like fruit on top. I like a little chocolate
we're
cheesecake.
going to put fruit on this.
I like,
But this is small mini New York cheesecakes.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go. Get on to the VFW tonight, 4 o'clock, right?
Yep, 4 to 7.
All right, 4 to 7 tonight. And,
Then you can eat your meal.
And then go home and watch more soccer.
Or in our case.
Oh, stay for karaoke.
Karaoke, yeah.
Right,
Drink your favorite beverage. And in Terry's case, go home and watch soccer.
Home and watch more soccer. It's great.
How late did you stay up last night watching soccer?
I fell asleep, and that Brazil game was like, I knew they were going to beat Haiti when they got up 3-0, which ended up being the scoreline. So I went to bed at 10-something. It was before 11. I forget it, going to bed. But, watch the U.S. play at 3 o'clock, and there we go, 2-0, baby. 2-0, the first time we've won 2 games in a row like that for the World Cup.
Well.
So, it's fun.
U.S. stepping up. North Carolina stepping up.
Hey, look, it's been a good sports week, and especially like I said, soccer. I mean, it's been the first game of the World Cup last week. Probably the best half that the United States has played in soccer, maybe even ever. So, gotta rep it, gotta love it. So,
Have you watched those Scots that were in Boston?
Oh, they drink the Boston Dry. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, drink all the... Sam Adams, a brewery, right? I mean, they're the largest microbrewery there is. And they ran out of beer. So, yeah, that's the Scots for you.
Well,
have you seen the things where they're going around putting the cones on the top of the statues? Yeah, there's a statue in Glasgow. I don't know the whole story, but there's a statue in Glasgow that has the guy's wearing like a pointy hat, looks like a traffic cone, and so now all the Scot tourists and soccer fans, the Tartan Army as they call them, are going around and putting traffic cones on top of statues or in the U.S., taking pictures and stuff, and it's people love it, but then of course municipalities don't really appreciate it. It's been kind of funny.
Huh.
There you go.
Well, around the world, it's a lot bigger than it is here.
It's huge. It's huge. Well, and by the way, if anyone wants to pass the hat and buy me a ticket to the games, I found one for like $1,500. So,
well,
if I'll pitch in, get me a ticket. It'd be great.
Well, I doubt it.
I'll pay for airfare. I'm not asking for much. Just a ticket. I would love to go. A couple, like last year, Leslie and I were talking, and we're like, "Oh, we should go to one." There's July 4th in Philadelphia. There's a game, and no, it's going to be like a $10,000 or $20,000 weekend. So I don't think I'm going to swing that one.
Gosh, Terry,
I know. So I'm going to be.
Are you saying you're not making enough money as a teacher?
Apparently, not enough to go to the World Cup. So, yeah. It's all right.
That's like going to the Olympics,
yeah.
Because each phase of the Olympics costs a little more for each ticket.
Well, I was reading a thing, this is back a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about it. And there's this guy from Colombia that they were interviewing, and like him and his dad has went to the last 5 World Cups or something. And he said each year each World Cup they spend $10,000, and they go to several games, including the final. And this year, it's going to be $10,000 for one of them, not both of them, but one of them to come. And they're only watching one game. And it was like, oh, that's a big difference then.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. All I know is it's been a fun game, World Cup series to watch so far. So if it keeps it up, we're all doing good.
Are all of our football stadiums big enough to do this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The professional ones?
You got to be careful. If a soccer field's 20 yards wider than a football field, so some of them, but all of they did a whole vetting process. Like they've purposely picked the ones that work, and so yeah, so we're good to go. And the cool thing is they house 80 to 100,000 people, depends on the stadium. Seattle was where the game was last night. I was watching, and that was huge because Seattle actually was built to be both. When they built Seattle, they built it to be a soccer field and a football field. So, I don't know. Cool. Actually, Seattle's a really cool stadium. I want to go see it one day. Because they purposely built the stadium. It's got that weird end zone, like behind the goal, soccer goal thing. Stands.
I don't know.
Well, the reason it's built like that is so you can see the skyline. It was done on purpose. And anyway, long story short.
Well, that's what architects do.
It's cool stuff, man. Look, long story short is the World Cup's here, baby. World Cup.
First time?
So, well, no, 94.
94?
When I was a kid, it was back in 94 was
Oh,
here.
man, I was working too much.
Yeah. So, it's crazy, man. It's fun. It's exciting. I hope U.S. continues on the track they're on. They're not going to win as much as I want them to. But it's been interesting. I mean, not that I wanted them to win, but going into this, I was like, Spain's probably going to win. But now I'm not so sure. Maybe France, maybe England.
It's just like the NBA. It depends on who comes to play.
And that's been a lot of it. But that's what makes the World Cup
football,
so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why we play the game. I mean, yeah.
Who's got their head screwed on straight?
But anyway, it's fun. I mean, we're World Cup every 4 years, but it only comes to the United States once in a generation. So there you go. That's why we're talking about All About Home Construction.
Yeah, stadium building.
Stadium building. Actually, that would be a fun topic.
Is Charlotte big enough for their stadium?
Yeah, they put a bid in and didn't get the bid, obviously. But the Women's World Cup, they're trying to put a bid for the United States to host it in like 31, I think it is, or something. Anyway, the United States is putting in a bid. There's a whole process. Every country wants it, puts in a bid, and then they pick one, right? But if the United States hosts the Women's World Cup in a decade or so, Charlotte wants to be in on that one. So
and Charlotte's right now in the process of creating a women's soccer team.
Yeah, so they've got the Ascent. They've kind of got it. They're just trying to push it and make it larger. They just started up last year, so it's a new team, and it's pretty cool.
Well,
pretty cool. And then, of course,
North Carolina is growing.
It is, and it's a sports state. People don't give it credit. Hurricanes. Look at that. Winning Stanley Cup, like you said, and trying to get baseball. They're trying to get MLB in the Raleigh area. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why you'd want a baseball team there. I sleep enough when I go through that area, but what do I know? Tell you what, let's take a break. That way we can get in all about home construction when we're done. Thanks for listening to us. Obviously, by listening to this podcast, you see the value of All About Home Construction. Well, by joining our listener supporter community, you're not just tuning in, you're standing with us as we are able to support and fuel our passions of the construction industry. As a listener supporter, you'll enjoy exclusive perks, including hearing your name, or maybe even your business name, on our show. So please go to our Spotify website. The link will be in the show notes, and join. You can join for as little as $1 one-time fee, $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you think you can afford. Every single penny helps to keep this show going as we can continue to grow and do lots more things. Thanks a lot. And again, more importantly, thank you for listening to this. That's right. All About Home Construction. Thanks for listening to us. Happy Saturday morning. Let's get into our topic a little bit this morning, Randy. What do you think?
Yep, let's do it.
We can talk about World Cup all you want, but I won't get you started on the World Cup anymore.
Well, I just don't have the ability to build an arena.
No, maybe just a big man cave that we can party in.
Well,
and watch the rest of the games.
Well, you can come down in my office and do that.
It's not the same, man. We need a big old 96-inch TV.
No, I got a 55.
Yeah, it's not big enough, man. Not big enough. Sorry. If we're gonna do it big. Go big or go home.
Well, that's big enough.
Speaking of big, what about big companies? Like, how does a small contractor compete with a big company?
Well, that's hard, and most small companies have to go in as a sub, and then you're under the abuse of the big company.
Yeah.
North Carolina, the last couple of years in our classes, has been talking about larger companies. Now, this is not home construction, but these larger companies are commercial jobs.
Right.
All right. And so, commercial company sends out a bid. I get emails from time to time saying we'd like for you to bid on this.
Right.
Well, they'll send it to you, and you have 4 days to complete your bid to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You don't know how many people you're bidding against.
Right.
But then again, what the state of North Carolina started to recognize is that these companies are bidding so fast, then they turn around and give it to another company.
Yeah.
So you've got to bid.
Yeah.
Let's say you're the big contractor, Terry.
Right.
I'm the little contractor bidding on a specific part of your, let's say footers, okay?
Yeah.
So I've bid on it. I've got that bid. Now I decided to have another company bid my bid.
Yes.
To see if it comes in, and sometimes it tears down 3 to 4, 5 levels below.
Right.
So that's the little companies trying to get in.
Yeah.
Well, what's been happening with the little companies is the bottom tier company at the end of the project is not getting paid.
Right.
And North Carolina's been the last couple of years has been really working on that pretty hard, trying to address that.
That's cool. That's cool.
And
well, the problem with the big companies to me is that they're not really dealing with the direct access to the company or to the customers. You're dealing with some kind of contract, like lead contractor, whatever title you want to give them, right?
Yeah.
Some kind of management, but you're not dealing with the actual person in the company that can do stuff, right?
Well,
whereas a small company, you're dealing with a lot of times the owner.
Yes, that's what small companies do, is deal with owner. But like here, a new school was under the Board of Education.
Mm-hmm.
Then the county commissioners. Look how many people you got involved.
Right. Yeah. You're answering to a lot of people, and then, yeah.
And, we went through that with Helene and Valley Crucis School, where the contractor had a hard time. But most people don't realize that every time you turn in a bid on a commercial job, they hold 10% of that bid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you don't get your money on that till the warranty 1 year later is over. Then you get your money. So you have to have pretty deep pockets.
Well, and yeah, that's the interesting thing is right, and then it becomes a game at that point. Like, is it worth going back and fixing the trim in this place, or are they just going to hold 5% of my, like it becomes a gambling point, I think, at that point.
Well, you also have to pay for a bond.
Yeah.
And the bond, I've never had a bond.
Yeah.
And, but the bond pays for if you fail.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happens with when the bond pays.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, again, I think to me the number one talking point here when it comes to small companies and how you can compete with a big company, I think is that customer service. I think that is the number one thing. If done right, again, when we talk about like building to code and things like that, at the end of the job, you shouldn't be able to tell if company A or company B built it.
That's right.
But it's that customer service along the way, I think, is really where a small business should shine. Because you're dealing directly with the customers. You're dealing you're making more relationships, I guess you would say.
Well, that's the reason I like little smaller companies. I'm a small company now.
Right.
But smaller companies seem to care.
Yeah.
Bigger companies don't seem to care.
Yeah. Well, and this is another talking point for later on, but that's local, And again, I think your smaller companies are going to be your more local, regionalized company, and so they're looking for that next job more so than the big companies. And so I'm not going to do a bad job for Randy because I want Randy to tell somebody how good of a job I did so I can get another one. And so I think there's a lot of merit into that.
Well, the good thing about small companies is they want to grow.
Yeah.
All right. And if you don't grow, you become stagnant.
Right. All right. Well, the next one on my list here is local knowledge. Now, we've talked a lot about that one on the show because we live in a very unique part of the country. Not to say that there's not mountains anywhere else, but where else in the South are you getting mountains like what we have? We have the highest elevation peaks in the East, and yet we have the summer sun and we have the winter rains and snows. We have it all.
Watauga County itself has it all.
Exactly. And so when you look at the high country, right, understanding the region, the local knowledge, if you will, is huge when it comes to building.
Yeah. It is, and it's extremely important. And but another thing that most people don't really think about is the code book.
Yeah.
All right, the code book, and we've talked about in the past, is the minimum, but it has insulation values. All right.
Right.
For each elevation of the country.
Sure.
Has wind values for each elevation of the country. And since we've gone to IBC code, if a contractor in North Carolina, you're allowed to work in 13 other states.
Yeah.
And Puerto Rico, our license covers us in Puerto Rico.
Right.
But what kind of wind loads they have in Puerto Rico?
Sure. Well, I mean that goes back to what I was saying with local knowledge, right? Like Hurricane Helene came through. Hurricane Hugo comes through. We get hurricanes occasionally that come through, but we also have 100+ mile an hour winds on top of Grandfather Mountain in the wintertime. And so knowing that and dealing with that are gives you an advantage when you're dealing with a smaller company. A smaller company, think about this, a contractor in Charlotte, right, builds 200 houses, cookie cutter houses a year, versus, Randy, who's up here building,
one.
And Randy spent the last 40 years driving around Boone, Randy understands the terrain and the slopes and the soil a lot better than this cookie cutter house in Charlotte.
Yes.
where you've leveled off the whole lot, and so house A is the same as house B, and so you have the experience in of being local. Like, you have the experience of no lot is the same. No house is the same.
No, that's right.
And I think that's huge.
And there's one thing about it: when you build it in Charlotte, you don't find much rock.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you know what it's like to dig a footer. How many times have we talked about you dig a footer, you hit a rock, and now that footer, instead of being 2 foot, is now 6 feet deep. Because you hit this huge rock, and so you've experienced that, you've dealt with that, and you know how to deal with that, and so it's not a surprise to you. It's not just a guessing game at that point, right?
Yep, and generally that's the reason most foundations are cost plus,
right?
Because you don't know what's there.
Sure.
I mean, you can take into consideration foreman.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too long ago. Remember when they were building the big student housing complex up on the hill, and it blew over. Remember, like, you live local, you know that, okay, there's a storm coming. I've got to get it to a point where I can protect it. Like, I know what wind is going to do in the high country.
We watched a house being built there right before Hugo come through.
Yeah.
And I've only seen that type of construction once, where instead of building all the walls solid and standing up, they went ahead and built their doorways in. And then they started stacking their walls, and they got to the second floor. And, bracing is extremely important.
Sure.
And one thing I learned over the years is you don't brace a wall with a 2x4, 8 foot long, because it don't go all the way to top, and you can't. And you're
right.
You need to be at a 45-degree angle. You need to be able to move that wall.
Yeah.
And after Hugo come through, that house wasn't there no more. It stripped all the framing off the foundation.
Ugh. That's terrible for them.
Yeah, it was. But they were a Florida contractor coming up here and trying to build in Watauga County.
Exactly. So, yeah. So just having that experience and familiarity with, local local building supplies and local inspectors, like knowing that, I know the inspectors, they're all in the state going off the same code book, but there's still people, and we know that some inspectors sort of look for one thing versus the other inspector who looks for one particular thing, right? And knowing how to deal with their personalities, I think, is huge too.
It is, and but the good thing is North Carolina finally said, "Hey, enough's enough." Yeah. And I'm a contractor. Building inspectors are there to make sure I build everything correctly. Right. And yes, you miss some things, and if there's a new code comes up, then they can address it then.
Sure.
But the good thing is you can say, "Hey, show me in the code book so I know."
Right.
And I've had building inspectors in the past that will just, bam, lay out all the books.
That's cool.
And because I built 2 steel houses.
Yep.
Before it was even in the code book. But I went to planned inspections where all the old guys was there. And I said, "I want to know about the energy code." And all 4 of them opened their code books to different sections to help me build this house better.
That's cool. So, well, good stuff. Good stuff. All about home construction. Talking about how a small company can compete with larger companies. So we'll take a break and we'll come back. Thanks for listening.
Calling all hungry heroes. It's time to fuel up for the day at the VFW's all-you-can-eat breakfast. That's right. Every first Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., you can enjoy a heaping helping of crispy bacon, juicy sausage, perfectly cooked eggs, golden hash browns, biscuits and gravy, and so much more, only for $15. Whether you're a veteran, a family member, or just a friend of the VFW, you're welcome to join us for this delicious tradition. Come share stories, laughter, and good company while you fill your plate with all your breakfast favorites. Don't miss out on the VFW's all-you-can-eat breakfast every first Saturday month from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. See you there.
That's right. All about home construction. Thanks for listening to us. Talking about how a large company can compete, or sorry, a small company can compete with a large company. But before we do that, don't forget VFW dinner tonight.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
stuff, man. Italian dinner. There we go.
Like I said, spend a lot of money on this dinner because 90% of it comes from Italy.
That's awesome. So,
well, the chicken comes from the USA.
fair. Good stuff.
You know,
cool.
And the beef.
Even the tomatoes came from Italy, right?
Yep, sure did.
Cool.
The pasta come from Italy.
Yum.
Lasagna noodles come from Italy.
Sounds like a plan. So get on over there, 4 o'clock to 7
Well, you
o'clock
know, the
tonight.
thing about Italy is, or anything you buy from Europe, there is no additives in it.
Right.
It's just natural.
There you go. Much better for you.
Well,
Healthier.
I remember when I went to England, you know, we rode underneath the English Channel in the train,
Mm-hmm.
and you bought a certain ticket. They fed you when you got on, and they fed you when you
Okay.
got off. And I'll never forget that orange juice was so, there wasn't nothing there but pure orange juice.
Right.
And it gave me heartburn so bad because I wasn't used to something like that.
Yeah. The acidic. That's cool. That's cool.
That's the reason I believe it. We don't need any chemicals in any of our food.
I think it messes us up. I mean, that's a whole nother show, but like gluten today. I mean, we've been eating wheat with gluten in it since we, became civilized people and didn't have problems until recently. I think you're right. I think it's the over-processed, over-chemicalized. But anyway, what do I know?
Well, construction's the same way. Think about processed products.
Yeah.
OSB.
Yep.
All right.
All your laminated boards. I
Yeah,
mean,
flooring, stuff like that.
Exactly.
And, the laminated boards or laminated floors replaced the old tile.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know the makeup of the old tile. I know that the old tile had asbestos.
I was going to say, it's all asbestos. What are you talking about?
No, not all asbestos. They got to have something in it. But, we've talked about in the past how we've went from boards to plywood on flooring,
Yeah.
walls. Some of the strongest houses don't get knocked down from hurricanes are the houses that's built with boards.
Right. Yeah. So.
And when, the last, there's been conversations going on Facebook, because I belong to construction sites too, about OSB versus plywood.
Mm-hmm.
Plywood used to be 5, 7 layers. Now it's
8.
3. Now it's 3.
3, yeah.
It's always an odd number.
Yeah.
And then OSB come out, and OSB is actually, I like plywood for my flooring, plywood for my roofs, and I like OSB for my wall sheeting. Because it's stronger.
That's cool.
And the seismic loads, plywood will separate.
Mm-hmm.
That's because it's 3-ply.
Right.
It's not a 5-ply.
Right.
And we all know the reason they cut back on stuff is because of the cost of manufacture.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So but a 4x8 sheet of OSB nailed with the building codes and a seismic test will shear all the 8-penny nails out of it. We'll break them, and that just
great.
blows my mind.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Cool stuff. and stuff.
I know we got off on one of them rabbit holes.
It's okay, Randy and his rabbit holes. But no, you're right though. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, another advantage to a small company over a large company is offering some niche services that sort of these big firms ignore, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, unique brand identity.
Yeah. For instance, there's small contractors, for instance, can focus on, say, a deck repair, deck upgrades, that kind of thing. Whereas a large company is sort of get it all in one umbrella.
Yeah. Well, most bigger companies look at small jobs as a nuisance. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's where the little companies get started in the business. Yeah. I've tried for years to make, which I hold a roofing license. Mm-hmm. If you're a GC, you have to have that license. That's part of your. But as far as roofers, I've tried to get North Carolina for 15 years to license roofers. Mm-hmm. Because how many roofers out there, how many people out there has had roofs that have failed within 5 years, or you look back at 10 or 12 years and your plywood's already starting to rot on your house?
Yeah.
Because the roofer didn't read the manufacturer's specifications on how to install.
You're right. Yeah.
And if you install a roof correctly, a small company, he's going to use the weather shield, and he's going to use the synthetic felt, and he's going to do his valleys and weather shield, all openings around the roof. A big company will do that. A small company will probably cut corners, sometimes cut corners. I know that sounds a little, but people come and go fast in the industry.
Right.
And the ones that have the unique value stick on. The piss poor ones are out of business within about 5 years.
You're right. Yep. But again, that's one of the things that a small business can focus on. One of my favorite is the historic home restoration. A lot of these when you look at like building or redoing older houses, right? Like sometimes it's just a couple of niche companies,
or just having to be able to do what you need to do.
Yeah. So I like that.
We actually had did a remodel on a house, and we finished it in 2008, where the door trim and the base trim was totally different than anything I'd ever seen.
That's cool.
So it was actually probably done with hand planes to dress it. And I talked to HS, we had him on, and for us to have that specialty trim made was going to cost us $250.
Right.
To have a bit cut made.
Right.
So he can make anything you want him to make, because he has a machine there that will make the die to go in his shaper.
Right.
Well, we figured out how to do it with a table saw.
That's cool.
And a router, which we didn't have to spend the $250, but we made it all to match the original that was done in 1941.
Right. Well, again, that goes back to what we were saying before, where, if I'm building 200 cookie cutter houses in Charlotte, I'm not putting that detail into it, right? Like I'm getting whatever the box store has. That's what you get. Oh, the box store has this profile. Sorry, buddy. That's what you're getting,
Yeah.
And I think that's again one of the advantages because a smaller company can be more flexible, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's
care.
They care. They're flexible. They can come down to it. And again, a lot of that comes into my fourth point here, and that's building the strong word of mouth, right? They care, but part of the reason they care is because they want more jobs and they want to please their customers, right?
Yep.
A small community like the High Country, reputation spreads. And again, how many jobs have led to other jobs, right?
It always does.
Yeah, I know when I was in flooring business, I can think of a couple of people, and longtime listeners too, who are listening to us. And there's one job in particular that has led to, that I knew of, 5 other jobs that led to other jobs, right? That referral is better than any advertising dollars I've ever spent. And I love radio advertising, but that referral from a former customer is way better. And by the way, it's free.
Yes.
But that means a lot more than just me sitting behind a microphone telling you about my business, right? And so I think that strong word of mouth, and so how do you get that? Well, you get that because you've earned the trust of those customers.
Well, trust is a big deal and extremely important. Like me being in the restaurant business, one client will destroy your image.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Even though you've had 50 do it right.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, but also the power of that advertising stays local too. I mean, local contractors are the ones who are on the local radio stations. They're the ones who support the little league teams, right? They're the ones who go into the school and give the school money for the gyms or for this program
Yes.
or that program, right? And so those again, as a customer, right? I know that dollar stays in the community more, and that's huge. That's huge.
Well, another thing about a small company is a small company is hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said,
Yeah.
they're wanting to grow. Where a big company's already there.
Yeah.
The big companies have enough on their mind bidding against other big companies.
Right.
And like Appalachian over here, they built that dormitory
Right.
back in the early mid-2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually in a class with a contractor in Charlotte, and he's going, I don't even know how another contractor beat my price. We all use the same estimating software.
How?
And that just totally caught me off guard because we was talking about it when he found out I was from Boone.
Mm-hmm.
And but at that time, his estimating software was costing him $2,600 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, those big guys
They have the money to just spend it.
they have to spend the money to stay in the game,
Exactly.
just like a little contractor.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't keep up with the times, the estimating and software,
Right.
there's too many things that's in your head, and there's a big difference between 2000 and 2026 on materials that have come into the market
Right.
to keep it in your head and bid that way.
Exactly.
I started in 2006 using an estimator.
Sure.
There's 40,000 different items on my estimator.
That's crazy.
And it's just, you have to today.
Yeah.
And then you still have to go back and do some research, because if you have a consumer that wants a certain product, then you have to try to find that. And a lot of times that's not on the estimator.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right.
So you have to be able to advance with technology and everything.
Right. Well, again, but it goes back to like you're saying, a small company is going to be hungry and trying to figure that out.
Yep.
All right. How about this one? More agile, I guess, than larger competitors, because you're going to be able to. Something comes up, you're going to be able to change and fix that quickly. So, for instance, schedule. It snows, right? We're in wintertime. We're in the high country. You're building a house. A snowstorm comes in. A larger company sending guys from, Charlotte or Raleigh are coming up here. Well, they've already got the guys on route. The guys are already in a hotel room up here. So
that's right. You said it right there.
Yeah.
Motel room.
And so, whereas a small company that's local is going to, they're going to be able to adjust for that. And, but also goes back to what I said earlier, where a lot of times you're dealing with the business owner directly. So let's say me as a homeowner, right? I'm getting you to fix my house. Well, I need to add this service or change this or change that. As a small company, I can go straight to Randy, right? Because Randy's ultimately the one in charge. And so, Randy, by the way, I want to do this instead. Whereas if I'm dealing with a large company, I go to Randy, and Randy has to go to his boss, who has to go to his boss. And then they have to send the contract back. And then 3 days later, there's been no work going on because I changed it.
That's right.
Whereas Randy's back to work the next, when he gets the new material in a few hours.
Well, it used to be a lot of stuff would take 2 weeks to get in, and that was really frustrating.
Sure.
And like when we first got into metal roofing,
Yeah.
if you missed your bid by one bag of screws, it took 2 weeks to get that screws.
Mm-hmm.
So then I found a company that I could buy my screws direct from, and I buy them in a box instead of,
Right.
like there's formula. Like I adapted a formula for metal roofs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I use the manufacturer specifications, which you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like we put our own screw pattern over on it that was better than the screw pattern the manufacturer had.
Right.
So we exceeded it. Like the manufacturer only recommended 80 screws per square.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we exceeded that to 110 screws per square.
Okay.
So I know that if I take the square footage of the roof, regardless of the valleys and stuff in it, 110 screws per square will cover the amount of screws necessary to put that roof on.
Right.
Just like when you're doing plywood. When you're doing it, now a nail gun doesn't tell you what your count is.
Right.
All right, but when you buy a box of nails, you buy them by the 1,000, by 2,000, by 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the code tells you well, it doesn't tell you anymore, but it used to tell you exactly how many nails per edge, how many nails in the field, and that is to meet the wind load here.
Right.
And like you said, a company coming out of Charlotte
Doesn't.
might skip it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that, and I think another point too is a smaller company is more able to customize the projects to fit what the customer's budget wants versus like what they want, because you're dealing directly with each other. I like that. All right, number 6, selling expertise. Selling expertise instead of that price, right? A larger company more so are going to be that price is the bottom line, right? Whereas a smaller company is going to educate your customers. I know you do this. When I was in my flooring business, I was doing the same. It's like as a larger company, it's like, well, what do you want it to look like? Okay, we'll get it done. Whereas a smaller company, you're dealing because you're dealing with people who care. It's like, okay, well, Randy, why are you choosing this finish over this finish? Right? Like, why? What's the advantages?
Well, you got to be able to answer that question,
right?
And a lot of times you've answered the question yourself.
Yeah.
Like you in the flooring industry, you knew what urethane was better,
right?
And and by doing a little research, it helps you out a bunch,
right?
When we first did our floors, we did a passive finish.
Mm-hmm.
I took a buffer, I put a heavy Scotch-Brite pad, and actually, let me rephrase that. We first went in with stripper, and I stripped the old urethane. Now, my house is built in '64, so it's got some creaks and cracks. But they put that flooring down with a cut nail instead of a staple. I actually prefer the old cut nails guns over the staple guns.
Right.
Because the staple guns, you have to put twice as many nails in.
Yeah.
Then
it's split. There's a whole thing issue.
And so what we did was we stripped the whole floor. I started in 2 rooms, and I dumped out a gallon of stripper in each room, and actually took a squeegee and stripped it all off. Mm-hmm. Then I took a mop and mopped it and cleaned it.
Right.
Then I took the buffer and I buffed my floors.
Yep.
Well, I thought urethane, not knowing any better, that urethanes for gym floors would be tougher than regular urethanes, and it's not.
It's actually softer.
Yes, it is.
It's 'cause it's meant to move and grip.
Yep, sure is. So there, Randy messed up when he first started his little foray in hardwood flooring.
Yep. Well, but again, it goes back to being able to educate the customers, and you can explain more, right? Like if I come to you and I'm like, okay, Randy, I want my deck to look like this. You can come back to me and say, well, yeah, but it's going to cost more, and here's why, right? Like, and we ran into this a lot. I mean, I think we still do because we have Pinterest and internet. But I just remember, like, we've all been there where it's like literally someone is holding a magazine. They're like, I want this, right?
Yes.
And so you can look at that and you can say, okay, well, yeah, I can give you something similar, but I can think back. I had one of my most beautiful floors I ever did was a heart pine, and it was a house here in Boone, built in the 1920s, and the heart pine, it was so rich, it was almost like a cherry wood, right? Like color wise, like
Yes.
it was beautiful. You can't find that today, And so I was able to tell him, like, I mean, yeah, I can put a regular polyurethane on this, but if we do this tung oil waterlock stuff, like, it's going to give you that rich, deep depth that is going to look more like it originally did. And so we're essentially now, instead of just finishing it, we're restoring it in a sense. And so you're able to work through that, and I'm able to now show them photos of my work. I have a portfolio now. Or maybe even I can be like, hey, go look at Randy's house and see what this was, That's what I like when it comes to the expertise. And you're not just being like, okay, bottom line is it's going to cost you $100. You want it or not? See what I'm saying? That I think there's something said for that.
Well, another thing too is that we fight up here that a lot of people, like down at Charlotte, don't fight. As on average, most people come up here and buy a house, and then they're gone in 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
And no matter what work you've done for them, how good a work it is, that's a reference that you've lost the minute they sell that house.
Exactly. So, yep, you're right. Well, and then so the last one here we've kind of hit on already, and that is you've got the tools, the technology that the big guys has, because Randy now has a thermal camera. Randy now has the same estimator that this guy in Charlotte's got. So you have the technology, and so to me, technology is leveling the playing field, so to speak.
The little guy. The big guy might have a $5,000 thermal camera,
yep.
But my little $500 thermal camera does the same thing.
I got my house inspected before we bought it. The guy's flying a drone around the roof. So now we're seeing every inch of the roof, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's huge. I think it's huge. So.
And some of these guys, big companies, got, like I said, $5,000 drones. Yeah. Some of these little guys, like one of the veterans the other day, I said, I want you to take your drone. He's doing the advertising. Sean Krumpsky from Mountain City is setting up with the advertising for the meals and what goes on. And he said, I got a drone, Randy. And was showing me pictures of the memorial and stuff like that. Right. And I said, how about getting up on the roof and show me
while you're there?
Yeah, and show me some pictures on the roof, because what they did is they the old vets put the metal over the shingles. Yeah. And they used a 2-inch screw, and back when they put it on, they used electric drills. So now we got screws that are starting to pop out of the roof. So.
Well, all this comes back, when we look at the high country, to me, the local experience is the difference between being a successful project and really just an expensive mistake sometimes.
Well, knowledge is the most important thing.
That's it.
And the little guys are hungry, as we say.
Well, cool stuff. Don't forget the VFW dinner tonight. What time?
4 o'clock, 4 to 7.
Nice.
And for you wine drinkers, we have wine.
And what are we eating again?
We are eating lasagna, chicken parmesan, and spaghetti with meatballs or without meatballs. And the salad bar comes with the meal and the cheesecake.
Cheesecake? I'm getting hungry.
Well, come on.
So head on over there and tell Randy hello. So,
the Rock and Roll Kitchen will be there.
The Rock and Roll Kitchen be playing some Frank Sinatra tonight.
I doubt that.
All right. We're not going all Italian then.
Nah.
American chicken and American music.
While Dave was cooking yesterday, he was playing some soul.
I love it. All about home construction. Thanks again for all of our listeners out there, and have a good time tonight, Randy. And until watch some soccer with me this week, all right?
Be a little hard today.
Not today. Soon, coming up. All right, Randy, take it easy, buddy. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Obviously, by listening to this podcast, you see the value of All About Home Construction. Well, by joining our listener supporter community, you're not just tuning in, you're standing with us as we are able to support and fuel our passions of the construction industry. As a listener supporter, you'll enjoy exclusive perks, including hearing your name, or maybe even your business name, on our show. So please go to our Spotify website. The link will be in the show notes, and join. You can join for as little as $1 one-time fee, $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you think you can afford. Every single penny helps to keep this show going as we can continue to grow and do lots more things. Thanks a lot. And again, more importantly, thank you for listening to this.